It's just another day in this militarized, psychopathic nation we live in, and another mass shooting at a school. More kids are dead, specifically in the Covenant School, which is a small Christian preschool through sixth grade private school in Nashville, Tennessee. And a former student entered the school, opened fire, killed 6 people, 3 9-year-old children, a custodian, an administrator, and a substitute teacher. And then they were shot by police. The shooter was Audrey Hale, who may or may not have recently identified as male, which we'll get into, identified as he, him. And that is very important to note given the backlash. But so a little bit, if you haven't been following about what happened, turns out the guns that they used were seemingly legally obtained. This is according to I believe, the police chief. Hale arrived in the school armed with an AR-style rifle, an AR-style pistol, and a handgun, and used the guns to shoot through a locked side entrance, Drake said. 2 of the guns were obtained legally and locally here. Yeah, watch The Most Dangerous One wasn't. I think TBD on that. Now, what about Hale? More about them. A source close to the Hale family told the Daily Beast on Monday that Hale was autistic, but high functioning, and relatively recently announced that she was trans, identifying as he, him, the source said, asking to remain unnamed so as to avoid family strife. Now, the reason I bring this up is not because I think it is at all important, but of course the right is freaking out about it, and they are using it as another opportunity to go after the trans community, of course, with Marjorie Taylor Greene tweeting how much hormones like testosterone and medications for mental illness was the transgender Nashville shooter taking. Everyone can stop blaming guns now. You fucking cunt. Like, which I love, because it's like, what's interesting about that is if you say it's all men, right? Because it's 99% of the shooters are, cis men. You say it's all men, and you do something like I would do, which is like blame, like this, just the aggro, whatever. Now she's like blaming, she's like going after testosterone. So it can't be men, because she's going after testosterone here. It can't be mental illness, because she's going after people who get treated for mental illness. So how much meds? Okay, so it's not mental illness. It's definitely not guns, because she just said it. So it is just that they were supposedly trans, which, by the way, she's fucking making up all that stuff. She has no idea if Hale was taking any kind of, hormones or tea. There's no fucking idea what they were taking for any kind of mental illness. No idea if they did have mental illness at all. Because this happened at the same time as, the account from a neighbor or a friend saying that Hale, had or was autistic. So there you go. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, I just think it's tough, because I feel like to engage with it is to take the bait. I really do feel like I doubt Marjorie really believes much of anything anymore. It's all strategic decisions. But for any certainly myself, as I see white men doing the same thing, saying, oh, it's a transgender thing. And for any white man to possibly try to pass the buck when it comes to shootings, it's offensive. It's awful. I mean, you just have to look at the numbers. And Elon Musk, so someone posted, 4 shootings in the last 4 years that were potentially committed by a transgender person.
He retweeted it, right?
He added his cute little exclamation point, his little innocent, interesting exclamation point, not taking account of the fact that how many shootings have been in the last 4 years, how many of them were committed by cis white men. It just sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks, and it sucks because it's one of those things where such a tragedy happened, and the main thing you need to focus on is the victims and how to stop this. And then they're using it these Republicans are using it to shift the blame and not focus on the issue, and it just sucks. I mean, we're not
terrible.
equipped to deal with it in a good way with our media landscape and our social media landscape. But it's disgusting, and I don't think Marjorie should be. I don't think she should be able to have a meal without someone spitting in it. I really do think so.
No, it's so disgusting to pile on like this, and of course, it reminds me of the Pulse nightclub shooting where, you know, the shooter was Muslim, potentially in the closet, and they were like, it's not ISIS, but we can blame Islam, you know, and they're constantly blaming the identity of the shooter, unless the shooter is a cis white Christian boy who just needed a Burger King, you know, that's all he needed after he shot up a black church. Like, this is it's so funny though, because it's like, you kind of feel in this tweet from Marjorie, and this is what I said online, that like, is she mad that the mass shooter might have been trans? Does that mean that she's mad that like mass shootings are going woke? Like, is she pining for the days, you know, and oh my God, what happened to our wholesome white murderers? You know, now they're even not, the trans are doing mass shootings. They're killing us. Obviously, that is a joke.
Of course, she just knows that if she just keeps saying it enough times, people will start associating the two things together, and it's a plague. It's a plague, and I feel really hopeless in terms of the spreading of just the ability to just say something again and again and still being allowed to be present in polite society. That's
Totally.
the part that upsets me. I really like, you know, if she's doing a TV interview outside, people should be screaming, "Fuck you." Like it should, it's hard. There's nothing funny about it. It's just toxic. It's poison, and it's constant.
Yes.
And it's not going anywhere at all.
Yes. And so that's the anti-trans angle somehow of this. But of course, we know the real angle is that this is the representative of that district where the Covenant School is. This is a photo, if you're listening, of Representative Andy Ogles and his Christmas card from last year, which features him and his wife and his 3 kids, all except for the littlest one with automatic weapons, just posing in front of a Christmas tree in their fucking wasp-ass home. And like, what? Like, I look at this photo and I'm like, you know what? You know, the love it or leave it saying, I think I'm gone. Like, deuces. Just straight deuces on this fucking
I got to wonder
country.
about that little boy, though. I wonder if they said, hey, come on, we need you to hold the gun. And he said, no, I want to hold the Santa picture. Like, this poor little boy just wants to have a good Christmas.
Totally.
And, you know, unless there's something in that fucking, he pulls
there
out
definitely
a pistol.
is. It's, yeah,
There's
it's
a
one of those
pistol,
hollowed out.
C4.
Yeah, books. Mhm.
I mean, they should be embarrassed. It's so lame. It's so goddamn lame.
It's so fucking lame. Yeah. So there's the representative. Now here's another Tennessee rep, Tim Burchett, who, let's just look at him and what he said in the wake of this mass shooting, the wake of 3 9-year-olds who were murdered and their families. I mean, like, I don't have any more tears to shed. I'm so fucking gutted over this. This is what this guy has to say, not of the district, but of Tennessee. This is Representative, again, Tim Burchett, being asked what can be done.
Do you think there's any role for Congress to play in reaction to this tragedy? Obviously, this is your state now, but It's happened in every other state.
Oh, it's happening. It doesn't matter what state it's happening in. We're all Americans. It doesn't matter the color of their skin. They all believe red. They're believing a lot. I don't see any real role that we could do other than mess things up, honestly, because of the situation. It's like I said, I don't think a criminal's going to stop from guns. You know, you can print them out on the computer now, 3D printing, and there's really, I don't think you're going to stop the gun violence. I think you've got to change people's hearts. You know, as a Christian, as we talk about in the church, and I've said this many times, I think we really need revival in this country.
Yep. That's a problem, John Marco. As a Christian, we need revival.
This is like a doctor before the surgery, before like they're going to cut you open, was like, yeah, I don't think there's anything we can do. All right, let's go into surgery. And you go, oh, then you shouldn't be the doctor anymore. Listen, I can relate to a nihilistic attitude, believe you me, but that's why I'm not in office. Then you have to give the job to someone else, because the job is to do something.
The job is to govern.
So if you are of the belief that there's nothing for the job to do, then you need a new job. Then you just need a new job. That's it.
Absolutely. And then here's what he was told, or here's what he said when he was asked, what should, families do who send their kids to school every day?
What should be done to protect people like your little girl from being safe at school?
Well, we homeschool her, but that's our decision. Some people don't have that option, and frankly, some people don't need to do it. I mean, they don't have to. It just suited our needs much better.
It suited our needs of indoctrinating our kid. Anyway, we keep her in a cage. Everything's fine. So he homeschools his own kid. Maybe in part because of the amount of mass shootings that are happening in schools, which, by the way, this was a small 200 people, 200 students, tiny school, private school, which usually are largely not untouched, but it's a very small percentage of the number of mass shootings within schools. I can't believe that's even a stat that I'm having to say.
Of course. I doubt he's doing it just because of the shootings. I'm sure it's so he can teach his children how the Civil War, there are problems on both sides. That's why he's doing the homeschooling. But once again, if you are not participating in the thing you've been put in charge of, schools, then you got to go. The same way I live in New York. I don't want to hear any mayor talk about the subways if they're not riding them. You are not a participant. You are not a participant. You want to homeschool? That's fine. But then you get to be in charge of your homeschool. And that's it. That's it. That's it. Ugh.
And they're obviously, look, I'm looking at campaign contributions from 2018 to Tim Burchett. That's this guy from the NRA. I see $1,000, $1,000. Like, maybe there's some stuff I'm not seeing. Maybe it's been funneled through other super PACs and dark money groups.
Sure.
It's gotta be, because for a fucking $1,000, you get that crass, cynical piece of shit asshole there to say there's nothing you can do. We need revival, you psycho Christian fuck. I'm sorry.
I mean, it takes a lot of money to run your own school at home. Maybe that $1,000 is really coming in handy.
And finally, of course, and John Marco, I know you talk about this a little bit in stand-up, but hey, Tim Burchett really, he does think the government has a role to play in certain issues, specifically when it comes to drag shows in the state of Tennessee. Then, dude is fired up.
A grown man dressed up like a woman should not be rubbing his crotch in front of a little child. That is ridiculous. Good on Governor Bill Lee and our Tennessee legislature. The law goes into effect on July 1st. And dadgummit, we don't put up with that crap in Tennessee, and we shouldn't. And the rest of the country should follow suit.
There we go. Dadgummit. That's my favorite part of that.
Most drag queens I've seen have just been lip syncing to It's Raining Men as opposed to rubbing their crotch on stage. But it's again, this is like the repetition thing where they just keep saying this thing and people start, because I've been shocked. The reason I talk about it on stage is I feel shocked by liberalish people, at least in the grand scheme of America, and they go like, yeah, but I also think like they shouldn't have kids at drag, and I'm like, shut up, you're taking the bait. You've never said, oh, I don't think priests should be allowed near children alone, when statistically and numerically and everything that is a problem. The Boy Scouts were sued for an insane number, but you never hear anyone say, well, I don't think the Boy Scout, blah, blah, blah. But they people vaguely saw one image where they thought, that's a lot with a kid there, and they've decided to shape an entire ideology around this one thing, failing to put anything into perspective or question what the context was of anything when they have hard data in front of them.
Yes.
Like, okay, you're right. Someone rubbing their crotch in front of a child on a stage in this theoretical thing, that's not good. But you want to talk real? Talk about fucking priests that were raping children, to be blunt. Boy Scouts who were molesting children. These are real things, and you never hear these fuckers talk about it. No. You never hear them talk about it.
No.
So
because they hate joy in addition to so many other things. And it doesn't fit. Those are all Christian things. I mean, Boy Scouts is like, right? It's just basically like a, church with knots. And like, anyway, so in terms of the drag ban, It's a perfect example because, first of all, there's a drag ban proposed in many states. Tennessee is the first state to enact it. It bans drag shows from public property and anywhere there might be children. So I know what you're thinking. Well, there could be places, but you could know because you could call the cops on a drag show and claim that they're subjecting children who aren't there to their crotches, and that would be a felony. Right. And to say nothing of like putting a target on people's backs and, drag queens' backs. But of course, this is obviously why also at the same time, the governor of Tennessee was seen in a 1977 photo of himself like in drag in a yearbook. Cute.
Of course, none of this. I mean, they don't mean any. That's the problem. You're dealing with people who don't actually mean what they're saying, and it's hard to know because on one hand, I want to be like, well, then go to the football game and be like, hey, that cheerleader who just landed with her crotch in the other cheerleader's face. We should ban this all. Why are there children here? Put them under arrest. I don't think that's good either. But of course, that's the truth of all of it. Those pictures that they showed in that brief news clip were not of drag queens being hypersexual. It was just a man in a big wig and lipstick because that's what bothers them.
Right.
They're fucking losers. And
exactly.
I don't know. I don't know other than to spit in people's food.
What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/Bitchuation Room. Do it.